Give me some gas, Bubbaloo. Sometimes finding a great game trail is really good because you know you've got activity and you've got animals using it. More exciting for us is finding activity of animals living in the area. So we look at seeing rubs, beds, activity where you can know that deer are actually living in the area, because there's game trails like this through the forest that go forever and ever and ever. But you want to be where they're living. So finding rubs, finding beds are as important as a nice game trail. There's fish sign here. It's clearly an awesome trail. This more than likely is a spring. This is not a creek coming out of a pond or a lake. Eagle Lake is actually prolific. It's all spring fed, tributary fed, and this, you can just see how that spring has cut this valley through here where the water is trickling down. These animals will key on that too. It's nice, fresh, cold water, and that's what they're going to drink. What'd you find up there?
Some rubs right up at the top of the door.
Really? Yeah. And that
from last year, so
cool. What we're doing here is putting together deer baits. Very simple concept. Have a tube strapped to a tree full of corn. The corn spills out. You get a little bit of corn coming out every time a deer claws at it. Takes his little mouthful of whatever he's doing. This way we're not going into the baits every day, all the time. Less human contact, get them used to coming in for a food source without us having to go in for the food source. You can look online and just, you know, type into your search engine PVC deer bait, and you'll see all sorts of fancy schmancy clean out tubes, feeder hoppers, strapping system. Keep it simple. This will work. Put a little plastic bag over it to keep the rain from getting out of it. Keep it simple. When we do establish animals, we will come in here and of course clear out a shooting lane, make sure that the hunter's got an excellent opportunity at the animals coming to the area. In our shooting lane we picked out, there's a nice poplar tree right through here behind us. 25 yards away, it's a dynamite spot. We've got beds close by, we've got tracks close by. We're coming across a natural game trail. It's just I mean, it's your typical Northwestern Ontario deer hunting spot. We're not hunting fence lines and we're not hunting soybean fields and cornfields. This is hunting. This is in the woods hunting, and that's kind of what makes it so cool and a great hunt. You're in the natural environment of these animals, trying to outsmart them, outwit them, and maybe shoot a nice big buck. Let's go see if we can find a scrape or something.
Little cocaine, deer cocaine. I always break it up so it goes in the ground faster. Just gotta watch the eyes.
Keep in mind, it's amazing how every outfitter, every hunter's got their own tricks, their own things they do. This is not the best system. There's probably better ways to do it where you hunt. This is how we do it. It works for us. We have techniques. Is this the best way to hunt? No. Is there a best way to hunt? No.
One of many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And they all may work. Some guys are probably looking at us going, what a bunch of morons. But you know what? This is what we do. This is how we do it. And do we shoot deer? We shoot deer. But we just want to stress that there's a million ways to do stuff. We hope that this helps somebody out, maybe gives them a neat idea or something like that, and that's what it's all about. And what it's really about for us is putting antlers in front of hunters. And it works. One of the neat things about hunting in such a remote area is that these deer are not time of day sensitive. We don't have issues with, oh, get there before daylight and them deer move for 2 hours, by 9 o'clock, go home for breakfast. We shoot deer at 11 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's major. It's huge to know your area and know that these deer are not trained to the human clock. You know, when you're allowed to hunt, when you're not allowed to hunt. You know, a lot of places you go hunting, as the day breaks and as the sun comes up, you glass around looking for deer and you see orange, 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 orange. Not the case. The only orange you see around us are the hunters in our camp. So it's kind of a really neat situation to retrain the hunter and say, you don't have to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning when shooting is at 7:30. get there for 7:15, sit in your stand, because your deer are going to start to move well into the morning. So kind of a neat deal. Different situation that most hunters are used to.
Years and years of look at the deer coming in here.
So this is what you would call an established salt lick. I mean, you can park a four-wheeler in the pond that they've created. A game trail that's a highway, it's a freeway. All of it, I mean, fresh. They're coming in here because that water in that mineral lick is salt water. Yep. We're gonna actually set up a bait here real quick and get this thing established. Look at the size of this rub. So we're what, 40 yards? 40 yards from the bait.
Yeah.
And
that's a huge deer.
Look at the size of that rub. That's what a hunter gets excited about. That's what, as a guide, we go, wow, the animal that takes a 3.5-inch circumference or diameter poplar and tears down 6 or 7 years of growth is a cool animal. I mean, it's an old rub.
It's an old rub, but what they say too is to judge the size is take the width of the tree, and that's kind of gives you an idea of the distance between the brow tine and the G1, because that's where they like to rub. So
that's a dandy. That's just. I mean, you know, as a guide or an outfitter, you walk through the bush and you set up baits, and every bait is a plausible monster of a deer. When you see something like that, you go, right on. Yeah. Has that deer been shot? No. You know why? Because there's nobody around us. We're in such a remote area. When we see activity like that, we're not going, oh, I wonder if the Johnson from, you know, down the road got that one, you know, if it skipped the property lines or if it was hunting along his fence line. Not gonna, this deer is alive. This deer's alive, it's here.
The only way he's not alive is if the wolves got him.
Or he died of age, because he's big. Cool. Let's go find something cool to look at. Let's go back to that moose rub. A track deer at South Shore Lodge. Deer. It's actually a deer call, not a deer baiter. Big buck, big buck, big buck, big buck, big buck. Big buck, big buck, big buck.